Hello, dear friends. Namaskar. Welcome to day 5. We'll be exploring unblocking the flow. We'll be entering into a more vibrant and energized state of being by looking at what I call the energetic body and the blissfulness of free flow of energy in this body. In both the Indian and Chinese systems of meditation, there's a concept of the subtle body, referring to a system of energy channels or meridians that traverse this entire anatomical body. It is not the anatomical body of muscles and bones and flesh and skin and nerves and all of that, but rather is an energy body, a subtle body comprising channels of energy flows. In the Chinese system, they are called meridians. There are many different meridians, some major and some minor. But the most important one for our purposes here today, so I might call the central channel, that is located in the central axis of our body. You can see the subtle body or the energy body as like a field of energy. And within that field, there are channels. And this channel, called the central channel, the Sushumna nadi, flows from the crown through the central axis of the body right down to the base of the spine at the perineum. And there are 7 key centers, if you like, along this central channel. There's the Muladhara chakra, the basal chakra, or root chakra, the base of the spine and perineum, the pelvic floor. Then there's the Swadhisthana, and I'm using Sanskrit terms here. Swadhisthana chakra at the level of the genital, Mula and the Manipura chakra, the navel chakra at the level of the navel. It's not on the surface of the body, but in the central channel, central axis. If you look down the 3-dimensional body, it's right in the central channel, central axis of the body, inside. Then there's the heart, anahata, throat, visuddha, eyebrow, ajna, and the crown, sahasrara. And so these are energy centers where the energy flows are concentrated into a whirlpool, center of energy. And so in this subtle body system, what we are actually looking at or talking about is the experience of subtle sensations of movement, of energy, of vibration that we can feel and can sense as our awareness becomes more and more refined, clearer, sharper. So the subtle body experience is correlated with the subtlety of our consciousness as well. So what I'm trying to say here is this. As we allow ourselves to return and rest into our natural awareness, the spiritual dimension of our being, we can traverse more and more subtle experiences of our body at the same time. And we realize that this body and mind are not actually 2 separate things. They are 2 facets of the one and same consciousness. And as our mind that is constantly being contracted, dense, distracted, busy, reactive, starts to melt and dissolve and become more and more fluid. It returns to its natural ground state of awareness, fluid awareness. Then there is also corresponding degrees of blissfulness that's experienced. This blissfulness is like flows of energy within the subtle body that you can actually feel and sense and experience. Pulsations, the vibrations, the flows, becoming smoother, becoming more refined and subtle, more harmonious and blissful. So in other words, as we unlearn meditation, resting into our being, as we unleash our presence, as we go more and more profoundly into this dimension of our aware being, there can be a corresponding release, unblocking the flow of bliss. And they can be felt through different parts of the body, but quintessentially in the central axis, at the different centers that I've mentioned before, in this subtle body. And what helps us in unblocking the flow of blissful energy, free and smooth and harmonious flow of energy throughout our conscious body, throughout our subtle energetic system, is mindfulness, forgiveness, compassion. For they help us to release tension, to remove blockages, to soften hardness of the mind and the heart. The rigidity of the mind becomes moistened, softened, loosened. So we get to a more pliable, more malleable state of being. As the mind becomes more malleable, more pliable, the body more relaxed, restful, and seeing eventually no division and separation between body and mind, or rather seeing body, mind as the dual facets of the same conscious experience, then we can start to taste the blissfulness of being, the free flow of that blissful energy. There's a system of meditation called Tantra that consciously harnesses the power of that blissful flow, blissful energy through visualization, through concentration. And the power of Tantra is quite clear to those who have invested time and energy in its practice. But for now, we are not doing that. What we are going to do is simply to use our attention, our mindfulness, and then through forgiveness and compassion to release blockages. And then through this natural awakening of our awareness, to settle more and more deeply, returning and resting more and more deeply into the intrinsic unborn awareness that we are. So as that happens, in a very natural way, blissful energies are evoked. And we just follow them, allow them to pulsate and flow. And as we melt this sense of solidity and rigidity of the body and mind, we can then touch the blissful flow in the center of our being, and allow that to permeate our experience. So that's what we will practice today. Join me in this guided meditation. Sit upright, free your tension. Hands on your lap, feet on the floor. Breathing in and out gently, eyes closed. Remembering that you are not trying to achieve anything or go anywhere or be somebody. You are simply resting in your own nature. It's pure aware being. Allow sensations of the body to come and go. Rest your attention on that experiencing element in your experience. Being aware of being aware. Awareness knows that there are sensations. Awareness knows the sensation of breathing. Awareness knows that some thoughts are coming and going. Awareness knows the sound of my voice. Be aware of that awareness, rather than being interested and fixated on these objects, whether it be a sound or a sensation. Just be aware of that awareness itself. In actual fact, it is simply awareness illuminating itself, awareness being self-knowing, being self-knowingly knowing. Call to mind any past hurts. Call to mind any one who has hurt you. Call to mind any past shame or weakness or flaws or mistakes that you are trying to repress or hide. Let all of that arise in the space of your heart without any obstruction. Rather, allow them to be just appearing within that infinite space of your heart. Your heart is as vast as the sky. And as you breathe, shine the light of awareness, of acceptance, of compassion, of forgiveness onto those past hurts, people who might have hurt you, and your own past mistakes. Letting that light of mindfulness, forgiveness, and compassion soften, melt, dissolve the bundle of hurts, of mistakes, of people who might have hurt you. Letting them be and letting them simply melt away in the sky of your heart. And now settle even more deeply into the very heart of awareness itself. Seeing what you see, hearing what you hear, smelling what you smell, tasting what you taste, sensing what you sense with the body, allowing all of that, the sensing, the feeling, hearing, smelling, tasting, to dissolve into the very knowing that is within all of that. Let all forms dissolve into awareness without an object. Let all sounds dissolve into that awareness without an object. Let all sensations dissolve into that awareness without an object. Awareness knowing itself brightly, clearly. Let all thoughts, images melt away, dissolving into the awareness within which they appear. Let your entire world of experience dissolve into that pure expanse of awareness. And as if that awareness has a nucleus, a center. In fact, the center is everywhere in that infinite space. But if it were to have a center, imagine that you are plunging right into the very center of your own awareness. Everything collapsing into the center of awareness. The hidden margins of awareness dissolving, retracting, and retracing, plunging back in to the very nucleus, very heart, the very center of knowing. And there's only this empty expanse, space-like emptiness, without any solidity, division, ideation, without any conflict, tension, or barrier. And out of that singularity of empty expanse, let your experience of the body arise. Sensations of your feet, your legs, your trunk, your abdomen, your chest, your hands, upper arms, your shoulders, your neck, your face, and your entire head. Sensing your whole body in that space. Let all your mental activity re-emerge. Images and thoughts, feelings, sensations, emotions rising within that space. Feeling refreshed, as if you just had a deep, restful sleep. Letting energy flow freely within the space of your body, especially within the center of your being, along the central axis, central channel. Breathe in and out into the center of your being, as if fresh energy, life energy, flowing in as you breathe in, and moving along the central channel, up and down, illuminating and energizing your being. Flowing from crown to the base. As you breathe in, as you breathe out, moving from the base to the crown. So within this expanse of awareness, there's a free flow of blissful energy from top to bottom, from ground to top. Gradually, as you finish up your meditation, and as you open your eyes, feel this body materializing in your room. You are refreshed, energy flowing freely. So thank you, dear friends. Well done. We've completed day 5, unblocking the flow. Tomorrow we will have our final lesson on being boundless. And then on day 7, final day, we'll integrate everything we've learned into a complete practice for you. So thank you, dear friends. Namaskar and stay well.